Hello and welcome to my channel. In this episode, we'll explore the Wild West. You can watch this video in English, or you can choose your preferred language from the subtitles below. The Wild West has become one of the most legendary chapters in American history. It was a time of cowboys, pioneers, native warriors, outlaws, and lawmen, a land filled with danger, freedom, and opportunity. But what was it really like? Let's step back into the frontier. The story begins in the mid-1800s. America was expanding westward, fueled by dreams of gold, land, and a new life. When gold was discovered in California in 1848, the rush was on. Tens of thousands of people flooded westward, 49ers from the East Coast, immigrants from China and Europe, and fortune seekers from around the globe. Mining towns sprang up overnight, but most who came never struck it rich. What they did find was a life of hardship, gambling, and sometimes violence. Many of those boom towns became ghost towns when the gold ran dry. But gold wasn't the only treasure of the West. Cattle ranching soon took center stage. Cowboys, often young men in their teens or 20s, drove massive herds across the plains along trails like the Chisholm Trail. They endured long days, rough weather, and the constant threat of stampedes. Many of the cowboys were Mexican vaqueros, or freed African Americans, whose skills shaped the image of the American cowboy. Though their lives were difficult and often short, the cowboy became one of the most enduring symbols of freedom and grit. At the same time, conflict was growing. Native American tribes who had lived on these lands for centuries found themselves pushed further west as settlers and soldiers moved in. Battles broke out, from the famous defeat of General Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, to the tragic massacre at Wounded Knee in 1890. For Native peoples, the westward expansion brought loss, displacement, and survival against overwhelming odds. Towns of the Wild West were wild in every sense of the word. Dodge City, Kansas, became notorious as a rough cattle town, where saloons, gambling halls, and gunfights ruled the streets. Tombstone, Arizona would forever be remembered for the gunfight at the Corral in 1881, where Wyatt Earp, his brothers, and Doc Holliday faced off against the Clantons in one of history's most famous showdowns. These towns were places where fortunes were made and lives were lost in the blink of an eye. And then there were the outlaws. Jesse James, Billy the Kid, Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid, names that still spark imagination today. Some were seen as ruthless killers, others as folk heroes who stood against authority. Jesse James, a former Confederate guerrilla, turned to bank and train robberies, becoming a legend in his own lifetime. Billy the Kid, famous for his quick draw and daring escapes, was said to have killed 21 men before being shot at just 21 years old. Outlaws lived fast and usually died young, but their stories have lasted far longer than their lifetimes. Not all legends carried a gun. Women like Calamity Jane and Annie Oakley broke stereotypes of the time. Calamity Jane was known for her rough, adventurous life on the frontier, while Annie Oakley dazzled crowds with her sharpshooting skills, proving women could stand shoulder to shoulder with men in skill and courage. The railroad was another force that transformed the West. When the Transcontinental Railroad was completed in 1869, it connected the country like never before. What once took months by wagon could now be done in days by train. But this progress came at a cost. The buffalo herds, central to native life, were nearly wiped out as hunters slaughtered them by the millions. With the buffalo gone, the way of life for tribes of the plains was shattered forever. By 1890, the U.S. Census declared the frontier closed. Barbed wire ended the open range. Outlaws were captured or killed, and the once lawless towns became civilized cities. The Wild West era was over, but its legends had only just begun. Dime novels, traveling shows, and eventually Hollywood turned the rough realities of frontier life into myths that still shape how we see the West today. The Wild West wasn't just about gunslingers and gold, it was about survival, change, and the clash of cultures. It was a time of heroes and villains, triumph and tragedy, hope and heartbreak. And though that era has passed, the spirit of the Wild West remains, reminding us of the daring, the danger, and the dreams that built America. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more videos and comment below with video suggestions. We'll see you next time.